Welcome to Innovate presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. Today, we're delighted to have our guest, Peter Kakoma. Peter, he is the founder and principal technical consultant of Kanzu Code, and also the founder of Kanzu Finance Limited and Kanzu Code Foundation. Peter, thank you for joining us today. And could you start by introducing yourself and provide us some insights on your tech knowledge and background, please?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bob. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here. Very excited. So, yes, I'm Peter Innocent Kakoma, and I've been in the tech space for about 18 years now. I joined tech as an intern. I got an opportunity to join a web development firm as an intern, and that's why I cut my teeth in this space. And about a year later, I got another internship opportunity at the largest telecom on the continent in Africa, where I then joined also as an intern and started to work my way upwards, building platforms, supporting tools, until eventually I left to start my own agency, Kanzu Code Limited. That's about 10 years ago, which has since gone on to start a number of other companies. So I've been able to wear both the hat of a software engineer, build a team, and then step out to start my own company. And that also grow to start to do different things. So that's a bit of who I am and a bit of my journey into this space.
Amazing. Peter Kakoma, what got you started in this field, in the tech field? Like, what really drove that passion for you to pursue to be a tech entrepreneur?
Yeah. I wish I had one of those aha moments like we see in some of these movies. That wasn't the case for
Yes.
me. So in my case, my friend and I in because I studied electrical engineering. I didn't study any of these into this path. I really was self-taught and just grew through opportunity. So my friend and I, just before we went to college, had saved up a bit of money, and we had this desire to start a website. I think either we wanted to start a job ads website or a sports betting website. I don't remember which it was, but we had this desire to start something and make money from it. So we got our hard-earned money as students, put it together, and we gave it to someone to build for us that website. So that person didn't build that website, didn't deliver anything, and
He took
that
the
was
money
it
and
for me.
ran.
I was like, yeah, he took the money and ran. So I was like, I need to learn how to build websites myself. We cannot be losing money, hard earned money at that,
Uh,
like this. So that was it for me, really.
Interesting. What was your biggest challenge you faced early in your career? And once
Yeah.
when you started, yeah, I know you mentioned one challenge that you were depending on other people coding for you, and how
Yeah.
did you overcome that challenge?
Yeah, for that particular one, it was really just getting in and trying to learn how to code myself. One of the challenges that presented itself when I started that was the access to internet. It wasn't the part of the world. I'm from Kampala, Uganda, in East Africa. And at the time I started out, the access to internet was very, very sporadic. And I mean, even this interview has had to be interrupted a bit because of internet challenges. And this is 18 years down the road. So you
Mhm.
can imagine what it was like back then. So you had to rely on getting access when you are in the computer lab at university. So there are challenges around that as well. Then second, very early in my career, I got the opportunity to build a really large scale application. I was a solo developer and I was building an app that was eventually consumed by about 4 million customers, which was really
Mm.
massive back then and even today. So the challenge there was now I had to access people who had done something similar to this and ask these questions so they could guide me along the way. And so that was really challenging. I believe I had access to, at least, I recall, two people that I used to
Hmm.
call constantly to give me tips. Try this, try that, try this. So pull out a bit of hair, get back to them. So Chris Musasizi and Rev, those were the people I remember. So that was on the tech journey. Then on the business side of things, early on, just realizing I know very little about business, because now I step into business because I love the tech side, but business is a whole different thing. And what helped me there was surrounding myself with mentors. One of the very notable ones is Mr. David Kabiswa. So I formed a board of advisors, and he joined as the board of advisors for my business right from day one. Even when I was taking those contemplative steps, should I leave formal employment and start this thing? He was one of those people who was guiding me and asking the tough questions. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's a bit about that side.
Wow. So your first job or your first journey into the tech world, that you actually got a job to build, an application to build, and you would learn and you learn
Yes.
how to code and do the whole thing. Wow. Pretty impressive. Pretty inspiring, actually, and motivating. And what was the name of the app? What was the, you said it's a big app that consumed by 4 million users.
Yeah, so it was the MTN loyalty platform. So MTN, as a telecom company, had a program it set up where whenever a user in the telecom network would use airtime or make calls or send SMSs, they would be rewarded with points, and then they could redeem those points for different things. So that was the app. Um, um,
Wow.
and it grew and
Interesting.
scaled, and yeah.
And that was the first job you had for Gunzu Code, correct? That's the company you had, the custom software solution.
I'd, so that was way before I'd even thought of custom software solutions. So this was when I was just
Yes,
starting out, now
as
building
an independent
enterprise
developer.
software
Okay.
as
Yes.
a developer working full time for MTN at the time.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
And then, so what got you started Gunzu Code?
So two things. So I've stepped into MTN and I've started building, and this one of the very first apps. As I said, I've worked on it, and it's a massive success. And I'm learning so many things as I go along, because now that you're hit with scale, you now need to learn even much faster. So I realized a number of things. One, the team that I was leading was really small. So I started to
Mhm.
hire people onto that team for MTN. At some point, we were three people. But then, second, I was growing really fast in the craft. I could see that I'm not where I was just a year ago. So I realized that even with the magnitude of the work, there were
Mhm.
not going to be so many opportunities for other young people like me across the country.
Yeah.
And then two, it also meant that there was a lot of capital flight. A lot of this huge investment was going to be keep going outside the country to
Yeah.
pay software developers in other parts of the world. So I wanted to set up a company that could create world-class platforms from Uganda, and also wanted to create a space that could teach young people, create opportunities for young people to get into the software space. Especially as a self-taught person, I realized I one could learn and join this craft just by being in the right environment and being exposed to the right things. So that's where that
Interesting.
part started for me.
Got it. Got it. Um, how has your approach for or to integrating AI into your business operation evolved since you founded Gunzo Code?
Yeah. Well, it's evolved quite a bit, because for starters, a lot of the things that um, and this is one starting internally, even before I talk about the customer facing, how the customers have
Hmm.
benefited from it. A lot of the things that would take a long time, as one, you craft a solution, and then two, go about creating it and delivering it. the approach has changed dramatically because now there are all these tools that can help you brainstorm, so to speak, with the AI solution, give you real time feedback. So, automated internal reviews and automated shared knowledge of how to do things as a team, especially for someone
Hmm.
who is also in the space of teaching how to grow in the craft. So,
Yeah.
AI has helped a
Yeah.
lot in that space. Now,
Yeah.
for the customers as well,
Yeah.
it's helped to
Yeah.
do a bit more for the business because since we are in
Interesting.
the custom software space and we do different things for different customers, just having different conversations with people and then you're able to enhance their sales process, you're able to kick in, add something to their customer support process so that you have an AI bot that's automatically answering stuff. So being able to directly quantify our effort as an engineering team to either their bottom line as a business or
Hmm.
hours saved. Yeah, so that bit has come a lot more to the fore by starting to step into the AI space that you can actually say we saved this business this number of hours by deploying something for
Hmm.
them or this amount of money.
Interesting. Um, how does operational excellence factor into Gunzu codes services, and how do you make it and you make sure it happens?
Ah, it factors in so much. So just a bit of back early in the journey. One of the first platforms that we joined, a platform called Codable,
Hmm.
and it was for the largest parts of the company that it's the platform that got us the bulk of our work. And the way you get work on this platform is customers post projects, and then after you've done the project, they rate you, give you a 4 or 5 star rating. And so
Hmm.
excellence had to be at the core of our delivery right from the get go. So we
Yes.
had to embed aspects of testing, embed aspects of understanding scope. That had to be one of the things to lock down really well. Embed aspects of bridging the divide, the communication divide, because you're going to deal with customers from different parts of the world, their cultural differences. So sometimes quality is not just the tool, but actually communicating and understanding on both sides of the equation what needs to be done. So that was just before, and thankfully, of the over 500 projects we've done through that platform, all together we have a rating, a combined rating of well over 4.9, about 4.94. And then now, when the AI bit stepped into the space, now we can get a bit more granular. You can have a tool that's doing automated checks on your code quality. You can have a tool that is giving developers real-time feedback even before they submit their tool for testing.
Hmm.
And all this can happen before a human being comes in to test the quality of the finished product and compare it with the initial bit that was asked for. So that's both the before and the now, where we've now been able to bring in some extra tools to automate the process. And we keep just finding ways to add more and more so we can keep a tight ship.
Peter, can we talk about the tech and entrepreneurial scene in Uganda and the growth of it, and what's motivating these young um, people in Uganda to get involved in AI and become the new entrepreneurs in this world? And how does that scene of the entrepreneurs and the tech scene, actually, and the development and the growth of it, play part in the world stage?
Yeah, thank you. That's a really good one. So the scene in Uganda 10 years ago, the tech scene was primarily dotted by companies that were delivering SMS solutions So the front runners that were breaking ground in the tech space back then, that was the biggest product. They were delivering products around SMS, and that's where a lot of the companies that started to grow. That was the space they were in. Over time, that has evolved with now companies stepping into the payment space, especially with because we have a few gatekeepers, things like banks, things like telecoms are gatekeepers in that they need to put in it helps when they put in certain infrastructure. Like one of the key pieces of infrastructure in our ecosystem is the mobile money payments. So when telecom companies opened up the mobile money, uh, when they opened
Hmm.
up the mobile money API, then the ecosystem exploded because now tech companies could build platforms around payments, automate a number of processes. Some government payments could also start being automated.
Interesting.
So that
Okay.
space started
Very
to
interesting.
grow much, much faster. On the global space, though, our representation is still, we are still finding our feet in the global space. We do have a few companies in our ecosystem that are delivering platforms to different clients across the world, but it's not yet mainstay. Yeah, it's something that is still picking up, and we're getting more and more representation. Um, yeah.
Peter, how do you balance innovation with practically when developing custom AI solutions for your clients?
It's been a lot around one, first evaluating where the customer is, because innovation cannot be in a bubble. So you have these really nice tools that you want to try out that maybe are even delivering value for you internally, but maybe the
Mhm.
customer you're dealing with might have some issues with certain aspects of tools. So you have a voice AI agent that can start to receive all their calls on their behalf, can do their sales calls, their outbound sales calls on their behalf. And yes, it's innovative. Yes, it really is going to give a ton of value to them, but you'll find a customer who is on the fence. And so in that case, you have to toe the line between this is one of the tools in the innovation space, but there are other tools that I can bring to them. You can still bring something that can deliver them value, but that they're also comfortable with. So we've balanced it, one, by looking at these aspects as tools, looking at tech as an enabler. It helps make things faster, cheaper, simpler. And so have a tool belt of on different sides of the spectrum, something this side for the person who is ready to hit the ground running, the early adopters, but also have something this side. And it's helped because we've primarily served an clientele in the US and Europe, but every so often, we do have clients in Uganda. MTN, for example, is one of the clients we've worked with, as well as a number of other businesses in the country and the continent. So it helps to
Mhm.
have both sides of the equation so that you meet the customer where they are and then
Yes.
help them start to take the journey further.
Yeah. Interesting. Um, Peter, how do you stay motivated and inspired to continue innovating in the rapidly evolving AI space?
Yeah. I think for me, just that burning drive that, I'm part of an ecosystem that has the youngest population in the world, and I get to be a front runner into a space that has immeasurable opportunity. So for me, it's the tension of grasping this opportunity as well as I can so that I can appropriate it well enough to help steward more people behind me because we have so many young people that can step into the tech space and bring them along this journey. So the motivation is driven primarily by that uh, I do have a lot of people that in a sense uh, breaking curtains for, opening doors for, and so I must keep going. It's also helped that I have people who hold me accountable, people I can have different conversations with, the tough ones, the times when you're low, the times when who bring you back to why did you start, especially people who've worked with me so much longer, who can ask some of those tough questions. My wife, Mr. David Kabiswa. So these people can hold you accountable and just keep asking you and give advice so that you keep going.
Top advice for young entrepreneurs who, after they watch and listen to this uh, interesting interview, and they'll say, you know what, Peter did it. I'm going to take the same path. They want to take the same path that you took without no fear, based on just drive, mindset, and hunger to learn and to grow and to advance society and to advance humanity and get involved in technology.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I would say one, find your tribe, find people to work with you. I mean, many times tech is portrayed as this thing where you get this brilliant idea, go off into a garage, build a startup overnight, and
And
then
you
go
become a
out and
billionaire.
boom. So that stuff only
Yes.
happens in the movies. I'm sure even Bob himself will tell you that.
Oh,
In the
yes.
real
Very
world,
much.
yeah, it's
The grind is a real grind. Yes.
a grind. It's a real grind. It's a patient grind. When I said I've been at this 18 years, the company is 10 years old and it spanned different companies. None of it is where I thought I would be when I started out, but I've stuck to it. So find your tribe, find the people who have been there, who are doing different things that they'll hold you and work with you. And then two, why are you doing this? It has to be bigger than feed me. It has to be bigger
Yeah.
than I need the next meal on my table, because when you get that next meal, because you definitely will, if you put in the time and put in the work, you will find that meal. If it's just about the next meal or buying the next shiny
Hmm.
toy, the moment you get it,
Yes.
there is no point in going forward. So have a bigger thing about this, and the bigger thing will typically be involve other people. So have a vision, and then two, find people who can work with you, on this journey, and in turn do that for someone else. Yeah, pay it forward, help some other people. There's always someone that, even if it's your 6 months experience, it can help someone who is just starting out. Yeah.
Interesting. Good advice for these young entrepreneurs who are want to take the same path into the tech AI space in Uganda. Um, Looking ahead,
Yeah.
what is the next steps for you professionally on the horizon?
So right now, I'm really focusing a lot on the AI space. I feel it's a massive global opportunity, and I'm just finding different ways to appropriately apply it to businesses so that it's not just a buzzword, a shiny word, an exciting word, but how do you actually apply it to improve sales in a business, improve customer services in a business? And as I do that, I know that's going to have different expressions. It will mean different companies starting out. It will mean mentoring different people into this space. It will mean investing. And I mean, these are some of the things that even with you, Bob, we've already started some of these discussions about. So for me right now, the singular focus is leveraging AI for it to be meaningfully applied in the business space. And that's what the horizon looks like. Companies in that space,
In,
opportunities in that space, yeah, in different forms.
Interesting. Well, anything that our viewers and listeners should be looking out for in the next for this year, that you a project or something that you're involved in, you're building, that there should be on the lookout for.
Yeah, thanks for that. So, one, we do have a new service, because I've been in the development custom software space for so long. So we do have a new service where we help connect companies who need developers. We help connect companies who need developers with actual developers. So we have a new service for that. You can check it out at kanzucode.com. So that's one of the new aspects going on. I do have a resale tool as well, a tool that helps companies reactivate their old leads. So you have a bunch of old leads that you didn't follow up on well, or you have customers that have purchased something from you in the past. So we take that information, reconnect with them, and then resell to them, reactivate your old leads on your behalf. And we strike a deal where we only take what is referred to as a back-end deal. We only get paid based on the results that we bring on. So that way you can hit thousands of customers, have meaningful conversations with them using AI, and then do the upsells. So those are the two right now that I'll speak of. All can be accessed on our website, kanzucode.com. And yeah, very excited.
Yes, kanzucode.com, correct? They can access and look and get more information on kanzucode.com. Great. Well, Peter, thank you for joining us today at Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech. And be sure to connect with us on social media. Until next time, keep innovating, stay curious, and take care. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share Innovate Presents Entrepreneurs in Tech podcast. And if you're joining us on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.